What's going on, guys? And Merry Christmas. Welcome back to our final episode before Christmas, episode 100 as well. Hope everyone is doing well. As always, the support is amazing, so keep it up. The support on the last two streams have been quality as well. Get in the comments. If you're watching after, then leave your predictions, leave your thoughts. Hopefully you do enjoy again. Joined by Josh for now. How are you, mate? You good?
I'm good, bro. I'm good. I'm really excited to have the best part of 2 weeks off as well to really celebrate Christmas and hopefully pick up some gas wins along the way because it's been a bloody long time in the league. So yeah, man, I'm all good. How are you?
Yeah, all good, mate. Yeah, like you said, plenty of time off now, which is very good. So I'm the same. Yeah, needed that rest, and like you said, hopefully we can get some 3 points. We can get some 3-point collectors going.
That's all I want. That's literally all I want.
Yeah, that would be very nice. But yeah, Neil will be joining us very soon. He's just with the family now, so he should be with us in sort of 15-20 minutes. So yeah, lots of stuff to get through. As always, we'll talk about the Crewe game, and then we'll get into the two festive fixtures because obviously the one being the last one. We thought we'd get into them too. Hopefully, it's obviously hard because then you got Shrewsbury 3 days after. 3 or 4 days after the Barnet game, so we may get a live in. If not, we'll update you, and we might just do like a pre-record for the Shrewsbury game. But yeah, hope everyone's well. Hope you all have an amazing Christmas. Hopefully you spend it well with the families, with friends, with loved ones, and yeah, don't be too naughty over Christmas, but obviously enjoy it because it's that time of year. But yeah, thanks to everyone getting in chat as well. And also, shout out Adam Purnell, our amazing sponsor, ERG DIY Decorating. He's been sponsoring the channel for quite a while now. So big up to him. All of his description, numbers, etc. down in the comments and in the description. Make sure you hype after as well. And me and Hemmings did do a Hemmings live versus Hemmings versus Hayner earlier on. So check that out if you haven't already after we do the pod. That would be class. But yeah, let's get into it. You know, we're talking about a first point in general in the league since late September against Salford, and our first point on the road since the 20th of September, where we drew 1-1 at Colchester, and also our first goal in over a month as well in the league. I know we scored in other competitions, and it's been very, very obviously hard, to watch, and by no means, we're out of it. But a good start on Friday night against a very good Crewe team, that we're sitting 8th before all the Saturday games kicked off. So, yeah, really good point. Obviously, Callum Morton with the goal, equalising 3 minutes after. Tesgale put Crewe 1-0 up. And, yeah, do leave your comments as well if there's anything you want us to discuss more and questions. Then, as always, leave your thoughts in the comments below, even into Ultralight videos. Joe Jarrett. Legend, by the way. He come up to me when we was in the Cheshire Inn, and he's always in the comments and always watching my stuff and your stuff as well, and always supporting us. But he come up to me. I didn't know who it was because he said that he's seen us at Newport, but obviously Newport I was a bit pissed. You were a bit pissed. I could not remember. But he come up to me in the pub, the Cheshire Inn, when we were all there. And he was like, "I'm Joe Jarrett, by the way." And he was sound, bought me a drink, like absolute legend. So shout out to you. And yeah, thanks for tuning in as always. Evening, good night, Irene, as well. And
I'll tell you a funny story as well.
Yeah.
So the lady I work with, Helen, she's our bookings manager, and she came in. I can't remember when it was. This week at some point. And last week at some point, and she said, "Oh, I've got a funny story to tell you." I was like, "Oh, sign." She went, "So my friend or neighbour's 16-year-old son is a massive gas head, And I was like, "Right." And she went, she said to him, "Well, actually, funny enough, I know a person I work with is one of the BBC fan pundits for Bristol Rovers. He does TikTok and content and stuff." He's like, "Oh, I watch all that stuff. What's his name?" And she went, "Oh, it's Josh Hemmings."
Famous gas, what you said.
Yeah, he went, "Josh Hemmings." Wait, it gets funnier. Yeah, oh, it's Josh Hemmings. And the 16-year-old lad said, okay, nah, I don't rate him. But his friend Hayner, I love Hayner, mate. And I
Oh,
said, what? She said, he said to her, because I don't do many away games, he can't rate me. But he rates you because you go to every away game.
yeah.
And he goes to every away game as well. I thought that was absolutely brilliant. When, nah, don't rate him. I only rate Hayner.
Oh my days, that's mad. But
I
that,
love that.
to be fair, we've obviously talked about it a lot. And yeah, some people do obviously joke about you not going, but people, you need to remember, right? Josh has a young one. He has a missus. They're getting married. So I'm different. I'm not at that stage yet. Still single. Still live at home. Still go to away games. But yeah, no, big up for him. That's funny though. That
Yeah,
is a mad
hilarious.
story.
Yeah, I don't rate him, but Hayner, like...
That is funny, to be fair. But yeah, now what a legend. And yeah, appreciate the support from everyone as always. We say it a lot, but it's unreal. Even to Ben, by the way. Obviously he's
Benji.
here. They are, Legends Gas, famous gas. 4 on blue, HMS fly up the league starting Boxing Day. Evo is going to sort this mob out and get some decent reinforcements in the window. Ben Gill saying sign JCH and Evans. Big up to Casey as well. But yeah, let's get into it. Obviously, we've done our separate videos, and obviously I've done mine a bit late on Saturday because I was hammered gas. But there we go. Got to enjoy it around Christmas. But yeah, what was your thoughts? With the lineup, because we said it on Hemmings versus Hayner when we done the live not long ago. Like, it was a weird one because it come up and you thought, yeah, it might look like a narrow one, but it was almost changing throughout the first half, especially within a sort of a 4-3-1-2. Morton and Caven were swapping with Thomas. So, yeah, what did you make of the lineup and the whole sort of performance and who stood out for you?
The lineup, I didn't mind it. I didn't mind the lineup. I immediately just presumed that Lockyer was injured because you don't drop Lockyer potentially. No, Joel Cottrell was surprising to me. I thought that Cottrell would be right up Evans's street, but again, it's the first game.
Yeah.
Very narrow midfield. But I was really happy that Morton got a start. I think the only standout in that Swindon game was Callum Morton, and I say standout, I mean the only very small positive from that game. And I think that he deserves a start. So it was really good that he's obviously done something in training to show that he should be playing and stuff. And look, a Callum Morton on his day is a handful, and we got the just rewards. He got a goal. I mean, we went down 9 minutes in. I mean, what a finish!
Yeah,
By
it is a
Emre
quality finish.
What a finish! But
yeah,
as you said in the Hemmings versus Hayner, it shouldn't have got there.
Yeah.
But I think the players that I was a little bit like, oh, I don't know about if it's right them starting. I mean, Taylor Moore. I like Taylor Moore, very nice guy, but he's being hung out to dry a lot of the time in a lot of these formations, and he did really well. He did really well at right back. Mola again, I thought was decent. Kilgore coming back after injury was really, really strong. So there were some really positive signs. Should have won the game. Typical gas that we keep saying this, right? I mean, Fabrizio Caven 2 months ago probably slots that away, as we said earlier. So it's that, there were moments LT got to bury it, but there were positive signs, and it looked like they were running for each other. Conte looked decent. So I'm happy with the performance. I mean, you said at the start it's a good start. I would say more like a decent start because we didn't win. We didn't do anything special. We should have won against 10 men, and we were lucky to stay with 11 on the pitch.
Yeah.
But a decent start nonetheless, and I think that I think that you could already see, correct me if I'm wrong, but you could already see a few of the implemented things that Evans wants.
Yeah.
And I think it's a great stepping stone. But yeah, we've got to be a lot better in that final third. I think the XG from that game was 1.95, and we only scored the one. So we at that stage we should have scored double the amount of chances that we did, and we have to get that right. Defensively, we looked okay. Every now and again, they did carve us open, even with 10 men. But it's a good place to start, and I'm gutted that Callum Morton appears, pardon me, to be injured. I think that he was
hamstring strain by the looks of it.
Yeah, and they're nasty, aren't they? They're nasty because they can reoccur. So
yeah,
I hope that he can be back soon because he was hitting some good form. But obviously, it looks like we're going to be without him this weekend potentially. I mean, they are saying that they're going to try, but I don't know if there's
you'd think he wouldn't.
Is there a massive rush for this one game? It's difficult. So yeah, I'm happy. I'm not necessarily impressed, but I'm happier because I think maybe under Darrell in the form that we were in, we lose that game 3-0 probably. So we stopped the rot. And that's all that matters.
Yeah, that's the most important thing. Yeah, even into Mats as well. Yeah, we have to recall Hutchinson. We spoke about that. We have to. Yes, I actually think, yes, of course he's going to be enjoying his time at Cheltenham, and your fair play. He's been doing really well, been getting goals, assists, been having good performances.
Yeah.
And Ultralight does say, I don't, Hutchinson won't want to come back, but he's our player. We have to do it. Evans will want him back as well. I think from what I've heard from a couple of people is that even when Darrell was here, like he didn't get on with Darrell. I've heard that from a few people. So I reckon, yes, he's going to be wanting to, Cheltenham probably want to buy him, but obviously they ain't going to have the money to do that anyway. But yeah, we have to recall him. Was surprised Mola didn't get. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, my thoughts looking back at it, well, like the pod title says, a point before Christmas, when we was on done the pre-record for Hemmings versus Hino, always like obviously a win. I went with a win. Obviously, you got it spot on. First time in ages that you've got a score prediction right. You said 1-1, so fair play on that. But yeah, I was positive would get a. I mean, yeah, fair enough. Yeah, you obviously said it. It was not a good start, but sort of a start.
Better
a starting point. Yeah, just better in general. But yeah, for me, I thought there were a lot of positives. Yes, there were obviously, like you said, it was about time though. I thought we got lucky with some of the decisions because how Southwood didn't get sent off, I will never know. Sparks could have been sent off multiple times. Mola the same. Yeah, we were very lucky it wasn't 9 men, but I think it was about time we earned some of that luck because even when we've been on this awful run, there were some games where you think it's just not falling at all. So it was about time because going away to Crewe, who on that incentive that they've done over the last 3 years, they had over 9,000 home fans, let alone the 509 Rovers fans. But it was always going to be a tough game, especially going away from home. You tend to get a lot of decisions go against you, but it was nice for once. I shout out to the Railwaymen pod who I was on before the game. I watched it back, and they were fuming, and rightly so. Like some of the decisions were terrible, and I seen on Twitter earlier that their manager Lee Bell has had a word with the ref, phoned him up, has been talking to him. But like you said, I thought you seen little things. One thing that I liked about it as well, and they also mentioned it on the Crewe podcast, is that they were like, coming up against the Steve Evans side, they were giving away niggly fouls. They were trying to interrupt, and that's what we've missed for ages. Yeah. And that's what I like. Yes, it's dodgy at times, especially when your players are on yellow cards, but we've missed that for ages because we have. Even when they did get into have little spells, and especially the spell at the start of the second half, we sort of interrupted the game, which I like because you have to be you have to be horrible.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
have
you
to be
do.
horrible. And David, Maddie as well saying, guys, be honest, do we get a positive result with DC? No,
I
I
don't
don't
think
think
we
we
do.
do. Just because of the run we were on and how it was going. Like if that was it's probably another Barnet Swindon game where it, 1-0 early doors. You're thinking 2, 3, 4, and that's nothing against Darryl, but it was just the way we were playing. That change was, and you could already see. Obviously, Neil done a tweet after the game. I can't remember what exactly said, but he was just like more urgency,
Yeah, yeah,
more everything, and that's what it was.
it was. It was.
You mentioned Conte. Yeah, for me, that was his best game he's had for ages. That looked like the Conte that we sort of all knew and what he'd seen and done before. Yeah, McEachran as always. My love for McEachran, but honestly, every game he plays, like you think of the games that he didn't play and the games that he missed. It makes such a huge difference. Just calms it
Such a
down.
huge difference. He breaks lines so well. Like he breaks lines so well. He controls the tempo. Like I also feel because of the way or the career that he's had, I think when he speaks on a pitch, people listen, and we need that. We need that so badly. So I'm so happy that he's back. I really am because he when he's on form and when he ticks things over, we look so much better with him in the side than when we don't. And
Yeah,
I echo what you say there. I think that you have to take the positives of what we did. The shithousery, the kind of, do you know what, the stuff that teams have done to us all season. And
yeah.
I think that we weren't naive. Yes, we should have won the game, and the more I look back at it, the more I really think we should have won that
Yeah,
game.
I agree. I was annoyed
But
at the end,
yeah,
and
I know.
that's almost a bit like a because every ever game in an away game, I've been like, what the hell? But
Yeah,
at the end of that game, I was annoyed. I said to Ben, I was speaking to other guys, it's like I was like, how have we not won that with the chances we've had?
it's just the LT one. I can see it. Like
Oh
the
yeah,
the Fabrizio one, like yeah, all right, it was a decent chance, but he has to beat the man. He sends him the wrong way,
yeah,
cuts in. Like there's lots to do. LT just had to put it on target. And yeah, we maybe that comes on the training pitch, but we have to start putting teams to bed now because,
yeah.
like you said,
Especially when you're on top.
especially when you're on top, like
Yeah,
you said it earlier that the couple of the games, well, a fair few of the games that we lost in that 10-game streak, we shouldn't have lost, and we didn't deserve to lose. And I go back to Notts County at home being one.
yeah.
Like,
That game,
do you know what I mean? Like
hands up.
how are we losing football matches? So
We should have
it
battered them.
should have battered them, and then Dennis pops up, and you think, of course it has. So we had to stop the rot. We had to stop the rot. We've done that, and I really hope now that we can find some pattern of play and know what we're looking at with an Evans side, because I didn't know what I was watching half the time with Darryl.
Yeah. That's the thing. Yeah, even to Thomas Callahan as well, saying, yeah, love DC, but we may very well not break
I
that news.
agree.
Yeah, it was
I
just
agree.
something. Even though, of course, I was gutted, like a lot of us, I was still annoyed, with some of the stuff that he was doing. But of course, I was gutted. But yeah, something had to change. Breno as well saying 3 points incoming for Boxing Day. Even Jerry as well saying Evans will defend, take no BS. Being a Scot, it's guaranteed he'll kick ass. Yeah, 100%. I mean, yeah, what I really liked as well, I like that we were getting the ball down more. Even though, funny
Yes.
enough, the goal was a
Long ball.
quality ball from Alfie.
Yeah.
Yes, Connolly should have done better, but also from our point of view, Alfie seen Morton make the run. And shout out to Alfie's dad as well. He was actually behind us. He's always sound as well, and I've, even in the past, I've spoke to him, and because he's always, seen me there and stuff. But yeah, he was like Alfie. I thought, yes. I also want to say about Taylor Moore because I thought he done really well.
He did.
I thought Mola was good in parts, but also there's a one. He always does one dodgy.
There's always an error. Do you remember Tristan Kramer?
Yeah.
When he used to play for us, it's unbelievable for 85 minutes.
Yeah.
But that's where it ended. There he is.
Yeah, here he is.
Nilo, how you doing, my lad?
Merry Christmas.
Merry
How are we, right?
Yeah, all good. All good. But yeah, also, yeah, Joe Jarrett saying maybe Morton getting injured forces a hand to go up. To be fair, even if he was fit, we need bodies up top because you've seen with Ellis over the past few years not playing as many games. We all know what Promise's injury, record is like. We definitely, that's one of the biggest for me is striker. 100% two. I'd go two because there's a lot of, even with Morton, I said at the time, he when he has been fit, he has done some good things in his career, but he has had a lot of injuries, and obviously I'm gutted because I thought he was brilliant. The runs he made, hold up play, I think he's good on the ball as well. Obviously good finish because that was
he's
his
fast
first
as well. He's fast.
Yeah, he has got a bit of pace about him because that was his first league start as well, wasn't it? For Morton as well. So yeah, I mean, Neil. Obviously, we've been chatting about the Crewe game. What did you? I mentioned the tweet you put out after the game where he was on about more effort, more urgency, more ideas, etc. Yeah, what did you make of the whole game performance and thoughts on Rovers and Crewe?
Yeah, I think, like I mentioned, all things considered, and given the situation, it's probably as good a performance that you could have wished for, to be honest. He's had minimal time with them. He's had a couple of days on the grass with them. He's got in as much information as he can. And ultimately, what these lads need to do is take on board, understand and believe and sort of grasp what he's trying to get out of these boys. And it looks like very much that whatever they've done on the training ground, whatever he's got into them as far as information and instruction, they've gone and sat there and gone, yeah, okay, let's give this a shot, because it was clear, wasn't it? It was clear from kickoff. Far more endeavour, far more understanding, and that was it.
Yeah, 100%. What impressed you most about it? Obviously, there's still things to work on, but was there anything that stood out?
Yeah, it's a long shot from being a good team, aren't we? We're a long shot from being a good team, but that is basically what you've seen there at Crewe is the bare minimum, isn't it? We were far better without the football as far as a structure and being organised. Without the football under Clark, we were a shower of shit. We had nothing, and players were looking at each other going, "Is this right? Should we be doing this? Does this make sense?" It's like no accountability, no understanding. Nobody knew what that shape was meant to look like. But he's had 2 days with them, and like I said, he's probably in my experience of that sort of situation is, I'll give you one instruction with the ball, one instruction without it, just go and deliver it for me. And then it's there's no grey area, is there? It's the lads have gone, right, he wants this from me with the ball, he wants this with me without it, and I'll just do that. And that's what he got from him, with a little bit of hard work and running alongside it. Like, again, someone like Taylor Moore looks fine, didn't he? Because his instruction was clear. Looks fine. Conter, different player, different human being. My instruction with the ball and without the ball is simple. This is what I want. If it all goes pear-shaped, I've delivered what he's asked me. Like, I'd have been perfectly happy to come away from that if we got beat with a bit of understanding of looking like we knew what we were looking to do as far as how we were meant to set up with the ball, how we were meant to set without it. But even you can tell that what he's gone and done there as far as getting information into these lads is he's gone through every scenario with them. If we get to this point, we're going 4-5-1. If this happens, we're going to go, 2 banks of 4, sit in deep, and we're going to try and stretch him. He's gone through every situation with them to try and say, look, this is the best way that we're going to get some sort of result out of this, because he can't overload them with a load of information, because their head will be scrambled, because the morale's on the floor as it is. So he's gone.
Basic stuff, wasn't it? Really.
I mean, it's not. It's. I think we're doing a disservice to say it's just basic.
No,
What he's done,
not basics, but as in just straightforward. Here's what we do at this point. When you're on the back foot, this is what I'll do and stuff like that. Not basic, but
he's given them all.
And having something.
He's given them all individual little assignments to hit within that. Even the subs, even Shaq, even Sotirio. Like, I'm not saying Sotirio was great, but at least he looked like he was doing what he was paid to do. Do you know? You know what I mean? And that's all you can. It's green shoots, isn't it? It's little acorns to start with, and then he's going to go in this week and he's going to have another team meeting. He's going to have another individual meetings with lads. He's going to start to, and that's what he's got. He's got to weed out the bullshit. What can I get out of him? Is he a lost cause? Is he worth 20 minutes of my time? You know? Yeah. And he's got to keep feeling this out, and he's going to have to do this right until the end of January, until he starts to mould something that is more a Steve Evans side. Because at the minute, he's got to keep all these boys on side without them knowing. He ain't for me. I think he's full of shit. I don't think I'm going to get anything out of him. I can make a player of him. I can get him to adapt to do what I want him to do because he's got the capabilities to do it, but he wasn't doing it under like Conte. Like, I look at someone like Alfie and I think, like, I don't think Alfie's one of the I don't think Alfie's a top 7 centre half in my opinion. But I believe Evans can get him to be the Coughlin centre half that he was. And that will suffice. That will suffice. That will get you through.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's little bits of man management like that.
Yeah. 100%. Well, that's the thing. I completely agree with what you said about even Taylor Moore, because you look at it, a lot of the times when he's played, we've played him as a wing back. We've played him as a wing back a lot of times. Yes, he's played in a free and, you know, etc. And yes, you know, when he has played, he hasn't done well. But like you said, when you just give them a clear, simple instruction, you know, keep the ball. You know, you don't have to get, you know, playing as a right back. Like you said, it's almost simple instructions. And yeah, me and Josh have already said, I think a lot of Rovers fans would echo it as well. Like, Conte, miles better. But like you said, don't just keep it simple. Keep it simple and just give them little, you know, little bits to do. But also simplicity.
But what he didn't do, and this is credit to both of them. What they didn't do is say, this is what I'm going to tell you in the change room. This is what I'm going to tell you in pre-meeting, and then you just go out and do it. They basically held them boys' hands right through the game on that touchline. Every single time that ball was in play, out of play, in possession, out of play, someone's on that touchline bellowing what they want from them. And it wasn't slamming them. It wasn't berating them. It was encouraging them to go and do the things that they've worked on, they want them to do. Because what happens, especially when you go 1-0 down, is you can revert to type. And what happens then is you can start dropping and you can get deeper and you can get fearful. And you could see it was constantly, I want you to stay high. I want you to get bodies forward. It was trying to make them brave in game from the touchline. Whereas, like I said, last time when we got into our purple patch and we got into our stride under Barton in League Two, he just sat back and let them do their thing because they were well drilled. They knew what they had to do in every situation, and someone like Coots just got on with it and dictated play from on pitch. But this group are so fragile. They need Evans and they need
Rayner
to be on that. And at the minute, they need them barking at them. They need the instruction. They need the encouragement. They need to reconfirm what's being relayed to them, because it's too easy to get fragile all of a sudden and go, oh shit, this ain't going right at 1-0 down early. But they didn't do that. They were on the touchline. They were the two lads there. The staff made himself accountable and gone, I'm going to get these lads to do exactly what I want them to do and keep on drumming it into them. Because I guarantee you, on that training ground, it is not going to be fun. It's not going to be enjoyable. It is going to be monogamous. It's going to be over and over and over again, doing the same basic drill in play and out of play until they crack it.
Yeah, spot on. Yeah, I agree. I mean, yeah, you could just see that anyway. Yeah, all game, whether it was Evans or Rayner as well. But yeah, and like you said, it was just, that's what we missed. Like, we mentioned it a lot of times, and you know, some people would, you know, but it's true. Like a lot of people might get bored of you saying it or saying it about Coots, but it was true. Like you could hear him and that's what we've missed. And that will be, I think Evans and even at other clubs, he's always been sort of him and Rayner will always various times come out or whatever. But that's the sort of player. That's what they'll be looking for in Jan. I think you'll get maybe a few loans, but majority of them will be, mid to late or late to mid 20s and early 30 players, because that's what then will provide us with even more, to be honest. David Maddy saying Conte and Moore were both responsible for letting the cross in. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I think I put that on Conte, not stopping it, because Taylor Moore was marking a player. Yes, Conte. Yeah, I mean, we said about it. I said it. Yes, it's a really poor goal, but also you could say stop the cross, but also we mentioned it earlier as well. Like there was 3 or 4 players marking no one in the box, and yes, it's a brilliant finish, and obviously Evans said it as well. You cannot be giving goals like that a bit away. What was both your thoughts on Crewe as well, Josh? What did you make of Crewe?
I thought they were really good on the ball. I thought they were so well drilled. I thought they looked really, really fantastic. I think the red is a red, and I think that even with 10 men, they still kept some layer of control on that football, and I just thought that they made a really good account of themselves. I thought, yeah, all right, they should have lost the game, but don't we say that most of the time about when teams go down to 10? I thought they played really well. I think that they will be very aggrieved about how we stayed on the pitch with 11 men, but
100%.
They impressed me, and I can't really criticize anything they've done, because that's kind of where we want to be right now with how we play, knowing the basics, simplicity, repetition, control. I thought they were very decent, really, really decent.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I also echo, what you said about them. Very, very good technically. Obviously, quite a young squad, very young squad.
Yeah.
But a lot of the time they always, they either get players in on a free or through the academy and just develop. And Lee Bell's been a top coach. Obviously, played there before. He was actually, when we mentioned before in the previous pod about that Crewe game where we got smashed at home 5-2 when Nick Powell, Lee Bell was in the midfield for them. So he used to play for them as well. So he knows the values, like we a lot of times say, and especially Neil echoes, they know what they are, but they're very good at it, and they have a style, and they always have had. And that's the thing with this. Obviously, early days with Evans, but from what I've seen, just keeping the ball on the floor. Keeping the ball on the floor and just keeping it ticking. If there's nothing,
it was
go back.
Going long when needed, not just because go long. That's what I liked.
Yeah, spot on. And I agree. I said it in my video as well, but you mentioned it, Neil, about he knows when certain things happen, or if they start dominating the in-game management, which we missed.
This is what we do here. This is what we do if this happens. This is what we do. He had answers to any question. He had solutions to any problem. So it was really good. And he also looked really motivated. He also looked very kind of positive with the players as well. So I'm really happy to see him on that touchline. I really am.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree. Casey saying Crewe had a game plan and stuck to it. The red card was definitely a red, but they didn't drop their heads and they kept composed. Yeah, I think that's the most thing, in it. You look at us, for example. If that had been us, it'd have been like, game over, or we wouldn't have been composed. But I think even having been in there very early, I think 1 or 2 sessions they've had. Obviously, it's going to be interesting this period, around Christmas, when you've got 3 games in in 6 days, 7 days. So it's going to be, we talked about earlier, Josh, having certain players rotate and other certain players will have to start because, we've already said it, and they echo this in Gascast, the other pod as well, saying about, the amount of, and we know it anyway, with the, players that are, dodgy, and when they go down, you're like, oh damn, is it going to be one of them? Because that's I think that's the most thing for me is trying to keep players fit and who to play when, because that's going to be important over these 2 home games, and then the Shrewsbury game is very important. But yeah, the point is a solid start, but yeah, like you said, you need to build on it now. You got a really good point. Scored a goal, should have had more. I think that's the main thing. Yeah, like you said, when I'm, you're watching it, or whether you're coming out of the game and you're thinking, damn, I'm so annoyed that we didn't win. It feels good to almost say that because it's been so long.
For sure.
So long. But yeah, let's get into. I don't think there's much. Do you think there's anything else any of you want to add before we move on to the 2 games?
No, nothing that hasn't been added, mate.
Yeah, that's fair. I think January talk. I mean, we've talked about it a lot, but obviously we'll talk about it more and more as it comes into. But yeah, Bromley, a team we've already beaten this season, not in the league, but we have already beaten them. And yeah, fair play. Like Bromley, again, they know what they are. They have a plan. They have players to suit how they play. They score goals. They've kept, I think, 4 clean sheets in the last 7. When 7 out of the last 8, I'll read you through some of them. Beat Grimsby 2-0 on the home. Beat Accrington 1-0 away. Beat Crawley 3-1 at home. Lost to Walsall 3-1 away. Beat Salford 2-0 at home. Beat Bromley 2-1 at home. And beat Colchester 2-0 away. So yeah, very good form. Michael Cheek, the bloke, doesn't stop scoring. Like, his goal scoring record is absolutely
It's like ridiculous. A League 2 Haaland, he really is.
Yeah, or even that. What's the strike of it from York?
Oh, Ollie Pearce.
He's the same. Like, someone said it the other day. I think he's got 160 odd goals in 190 games or something during the year. It's absolutely nuts. And yeah, we could do with something like that in Jan for sure. But yeah, very good side. I was going back to the game. I think that was 1st of November. Yeah, because I was away for that. I was going to go to that game and tick it off. But yeah, I was on holiday having a little early birthday treat. But yeah, we won the game 2-1. Caven and Cottrell with the goals. Cottrell scoring his first goal. I think Omalu got the goal for them. A game which, because of the FA Cup, I couldn't see either. But from what I remember speaking to Josh and speaking to other Rovers fans, we were very lucky. We were conceded loads of shots. Salford, by all accounts, had a very good game, like he has had in a lot of the games. But we got the win, so I think that's good. Almost that we've already beaten them. So we obviously know what it takes. If you want about lineups, etc., they're very, very sort of fluid. They can play 4-4-2. That game they played a 3-5-2. On the weekend they played a 4-1-4-1. You mentioned Cheek, 9 goals. Mitch Pinnock is one hell of a set piece taker. 8 assists in the league. I think that's the most I would assume in League 2. So yeah, very good from set pieces. That worries me a lot. Physical teams. Me and Josh mentioned that the second top goal scorer is a centre half with 6 goals, Shawumni. So he's not played the last few games, so hopefully he's not available. But yeah, going into it, they're 21 points ahead of us. And yeah, very good form. One good thing I will say is that all of they've only lost 4 games, but all of the losses have come away from home. So yeah, we can take some sort of a little bit of confidence from that. But yeah, Josh, what's your thoughts going into that game in particular? Very tough game. Obviously, we've been poor at home. Steve Evans' first game, home game as Rovers manager. Yeah, what's your thoughts going into it and your thoughts on Bromley?
I really like Bromley. I make no I make no effort to hide that I really like Bromley. I really do. I think they're a great club. I think they're a great side, and I think that they can just do it all, really, can't they? Like,
Yeah.
open play, yes. Set piece goals, yes. Defend well, yes. Clean sheets, yes. Shithousery, yes.
Yeah.
Academy products, yes. But I break records, yes. Like, they're just a great side, and I think that I probably need a psychiatric checkup because I'm feeling actually quite positive going into the game on on Boxing Day. But yeah, I think they're a great club, and yeah, I'm a big fan of them. Michael Cheek. I mean, you mentioned Ollie Pearce as well. Michael Cheek and Ollie Pearce are in every blooming striker transfer window I ever suggest. Yeah, I mean, the worst thing about them is their kits. That's pretty much all I can say. I'm not a fan of their kits this season. They're quite ugly. Other than that, mate.
That says a lot in it.
Yeah. That's the only thing really I can pick about it. They are really strong everywhere on that football pitch. I mean, we saw it in the FA Cup game. They had chances, they weren't at their best and they still gave us issues. So yeah, they're a good side. They'll be absolutely fine this season. I reckon they could even go up. Maybe not automatically, but through the playoffs they have a shout. And yeah, I just think they're a great club. So fair play to them and the effort that everyone puts in at that football club.
Yeah, 100%. Look, like you said, they're amazing at everything. Defending and attacking set pieces.
Yes.
Attacking in general. Defending. You know, they can switch up when they need to. They can take the mick when they need to, when they're 1-0 up, etc. They know how to get things done. They've got a mix of youth and experience. You know, look at the experience in there. Byron Webster is still playing. Obviously, not starting many games these days, but what an experienced player to have. Obviously, from his time at Yeovil in the Championship and Millwall. You know, you've got Michael Cheek, you've got Ben Thompson. You know, you've got a very, very good squad, and like you said, fair play. Like the gaffer's been their ages, hasn't he, as well? And like, they just do amazing. You know, even with not much, on the budget in terms of money, etc. But they get the players in to suit how they play, and they like that Mitch Pinnock signing. I said it on Twitter when you think, Christ, like what a signing that is! Like the perfect player if you're going to sign for Bromley. And very good side. Yeah, very good side. Third in the league, 1 point off top. And I wouldn't put it past them to go up automatically, especially the form they're on.
Yeah,
they haven't got. And to be fair, like even if you look at their side, like when you've got, like I mentioned Ben Thompson, he was at Millwall and Portsmouth. When he can't even start sometimes, when they've got a really good side. Obviously, injuries to key players like Cheek and Pinnock, then obviously they're worrying. But for now, I wouldn't put it past them. Neil, what's your thoughts on Bromley? How they play, how they are, how good they are?
Yeah, well, they're going to be a completely different proposition to what Crewe were. So, what gets spoken about this week regarding prepping for that game is going to be a million miles away from what they spoke about with Crewe.
He obviously went to the game as well, Evans.
Yeah, but ever since Woody's got his hand on that club, they've gone from strength to strength, and I think a lot of it is down to Woody understanding that it's not a desperately glamorous football club. It hasn't got the best budget in the world, but what he'll do is he'll get players in and they'll have a ball every single day training. He'll make sure every day is fun. They'll enjoy being around each other. They'll love going to work. They'll love working hard for each other. And like I said, it'll probably be a really good infectious place to go to work. And they'll probably, they love working hard for each other. But what Bromley will come and do is they'll look to go straight through the front door against us. They'll come and look to get us in an arm wrestle and bash the front door down against us. Because if you talk about Evans going to watch Bromley, well, Woody and co would have watched Rovers and gone, the best way to get it this side is get them underneath the football. And we're brilliant at that. So we'll work as hard as we can to keep them in an arm wrestle, go back to front as quickly as we can and get them in an arm wrestle and physically dominate them. Because if you look to try and physically impose yourself on this Bristol Rovers side, like before Evans came in, we don't know what Evans is going to do about that. you're set for 3 points.
Mm.
So the blueprint,
It worries me.
The blueprint is go back to front as quickly as you can, be physically imposed, and look to go straight through the front door against Rovers. Don't worry about angles, working the horseshoe, coming back out the other side to create an opening and overloads. Just go back to front as quickly as you can and keep on knocking on that door and grind away.
Yeah, because like you said, that's what worries me is the set pieces and crosses. Like it just worries me.
And if Evans is what Steve Evans is, Rovers will prep for it. They'll understand it. They'll know what's coming, and it's whether these boys can stand up to it, because it will come, and they'll know it's coming, and they'll stand in the tunnel and go, "Fucking hell, these lads are big, aren't they?" And they'll know exactly. They'll know exactly what they're coming up against. A bit like, days gone by when we used to stand up and line up against,
Wickham,
Taff and Lowe and that in at Wickham, and go, right, we know what we're up against. Can we stop it? There's no mystery to what's coming. It's whether you can stop it.
Yeah. Well, like Tom Butler said, he said, you look at all their team, they're at least 6'2", all of them. Like they're. But
this is what I'm talking about. This is what I've talked about previously. When you talk about recruitment and you talk about he's a good technical player, he's good on the ball. The profile of player you need for League Two to get you through the bread and butter is that. Big, strong, effective. Of course, they've got to be good players, but your dimensions have got to be correct.
Yeah. Spot on. Yeah, spot on as always, to be fair. Tom was saying, I forgot we beat Bromley, to be fair. I'd say a draw would be fair, but then maybe we can go for the win. Let's start believing again. As well, David saying, take a draw right now. We're on a rebuild. Bromley are a well-built team. They have a perfect mix of players, and they seem to know how to get around to win all different types of games. Yeah, spot on. Reckon we just got to think of these last 20-25 games of the dregs of this squad before we beef up. Yes. Yeah, nearing the end of what has been an absolutely shambolic year, but hopefully 2026 is miles better. I don't think my brain and state can go through another year of what we've seen. Honestly, it's been crazy. Right, let's get into lineups. I might say a little bit different to what we done earlier because of the opposition, and earlier on I was just thought, Bromley, but when Neil puts it like the way he does and physical and all of them, then you think you might need to change it a little bit. But I'll go with you, Josh, first. What are you going for? And let us know your lineup in the comments below as well.
So I'm going for a 4-4-2, just because again I know that's not what he played, but I just think I can't quite decide on a formation yet because I don't know much about how Evans wants to set this side up. So I'm going to go 4-4-2 just to keep it simple. Unchanged back five or back four, whatever you want to call it. Southwood, Moore, Kilgore, Mola, Sparks. And then I'm going in the midfield pairing of McEachran and Conte. I want to get Cottrell in there. I really do. But I feel like him and McEachran are a little bit too similar in style as opposed to any of the other options we have in midfield. Conte had a good game on Friday as well, so he deserves to start. Right wing, Shaq Ford, because I think he created a lot of chances. Luke Thomas on the left because of his work rate. And then up top, I don't really think we have another choice but going Fabrizio Caven and Ruel Sotirio at the minute.
Yeah, that's completely fair. Neil, what would you do if it was your lineup?
I'd go 4-1-3-2 with the ball, 4-1-4-1 without it. Southwood in goal, locks it right back, Mola, Kilgore and Sparks, McEachran in front of that, then Chan, Cottrell and Conte across the middle, Caven and Ford up top, and like I said, Ford will have to drop in when we haven't got the ball, but I think your width has just got to come from Sparks. I think you saw the other night, that's where he wants to get your delivery from. There was nothing, the left-hand side was where he wants that to come from, and I think you sacrificed the right-hand side at the minute for bombing on. I think you need structure, you need stability, and I think you need to look after the middle of the pitch, especially against Bromley. It's gonna be right in the washing machine, and you got to deal with it. So I think you pack out the pitch, you concede width, and you fan out as best you can if it has to go out there. But yeah, that's what I do, and then like I said, drop it into 4-1-4-1 when you haven't got the ball, and try and be as solid and resolute as you can to defend the onslaught.
Yeah, that's completely fair. I'll probably just stick with what I said earlier on Hemmings versus Hayner. I would go Salford in goal, back four of Moore, Kilgore, Mola, Sparks. I would go McEachran, Cottrell, and Conte. Then I would go Luke Thomas, Sotirio, and Fabrizio Caven. That would be mine. And before we get on to score predictions, I mean, obviously we're going to end it very soon, but talking about Barnet, there ain't really much to talk. Like we've already know how they play. Know again what they are. It's funny enough, isn't it? Of course, they batter us and then lose the next two games 3-1 against Salford and Chesterfield. But that's what you expect. Again, I think they're a lot like most teams in this league. They know what they are good at. They've got some good players. Glover, Stead, Assombalonga, Kanu made us, tore us apart. I mean, I don't even. Yes, Barnet, were good, but that game, I don't even really want to go back talking about it. But that game was a complete mess, like the biggest shambles I think I've seen this season, and we've seen a lot of poor games. But it's time for revenge. We won't do lineups for this, but quick Barnet prediction before we get into the Bromley prediction. What are you going for, Neil?
Barnet
on the 29th.
I think a lot depends on what happens, in the Bromley game, to be honest. But I still think a side like Barnet are all wrong for us in the profile of play we've got, to be honest. At home, it might be a different kettle of fish. I'll stick my neck. I'll go 1-1.
Love it. Point at home. Love that. Josh, what's your Barnet prediction?
I'll go 2-1 at home to Barnet. We win.
Love that. And finally, do leave your predictions for Barnet as well. But going back to Bromley.
What about you for Barnet?
Oh yeah, for me. Sorry, me for Barnet. Barnet at home. I'll go 3-2 Gas. There you go. Thomas Callahan said Rovers 2, Bromley 2, Rovers 4, Barnet 3. Jeez. Lewis has gone 2-1 Rovers against Barnet, I think that is. But yeah, let us know both of your score predictions, of course. Let us know in the comments as well, and keep liking. Pit Pratt's gone Rovers 4, Barnet 0, so revenge on that. But yeah, let's quickly get into score predictions, then we'll end it up. Right, Neil, score predictions. Rovers against Bromley on Boxing Day. Will we finally get a win, or is it just going to be too much?
Yeah, I think much like what you saw at Crewe. I think we'll be better. I think you'll see what we're trying to do. I think there'll be something in place, and you'll see that we've got structure. I just think we'll get edged out. 2-1 Bromley.
2-1 Bromley, that's fair. Goal scorers for Rovers?
Caven, and then probably Cheek and what's the hard-working little Lithuanian kid they got from Burton? Kaharis or whatever his name is. Kaharis or whatever his name is. He's quite a busy little lad. Maybe someone like that.
Yeah, I love that. So yeah, 2-1 Bromley. Josh, you sticking with what you said earlier on?
I am. I'm going for a Desmond 2-2 down the middle. Fabrizio Caven and Shaq Ford to get our goals, and Michael Cheek to get a brace for them.
Yeah, that's fair. My prediction. we're due a win. Yes, Bromley are a very good team on amazing form, but they're coming to they're coming to a hostile mem on Boxing Day. Steve Evans' first game. Steve Evans' first game.
Hostile.
And I'm going to go for what I said against Crewe. I'm going 2-1. 2-1 Gas in the same score. We beat him in the FA Cup. Caven and Neil's favourite player, Ruel Soturio, to get the winner. And for Bromley, yeah, Michael Cheek's definitely going to score. And yeah, we'll pretty much end it here. With Tom Butler's gone 1-1. Good Irene 3-1. Bromley back to reality. 2-1 win versus Barnet. 2-2 versus Bromley. Yeah, a little bit of faith. A little bit of faith will win both. If we can win both, then Rovers are back. Ben's watching.
7 points in 3 games. That'll be unreal.
7 points in 3 games. That'll be unreal. But yeah, apologies. Yeah, we're going to end it just like that. But yeah, we've all got to go. Obviously, Christmas coming up. I got on my tea as well, and I got loads of other stuff to do, as have Josh and Neil. But yeah, support has been unreal as always. Yeah, we all really appreciate it. Hopefully, we'll get a win. Make sure you like if you haven't already. Subscribe to Josh. Feel free to follow us. Shout out the sponsor again. Check out in the description. And yeah, hope you all have an amazing Christmas. And I will see you all at the Mem on Boxing Day, where Rovers can get 3 points. At the gas.
At the gas. Come on.